This episode is brought to you by AAMI. When clangers happen, lucky you're with AAMI. Welcome back, everyone. It's another episode of TFG Tuesdays, and we are joined by the milestone man himself, Toby Green, after his 250th. But as you know, he's here every single Tuesday. A bit later this week due to a multicultural dinner that Tobes attended to. No doubt Stephen Caniglio would have organised that one, Tobes. But it's great to have you back, mate. There's plenty to talk about, so it's good to see your face.
No, thanks, mate. Yeah, good to be here. And, it was good fun last night at Ali Farage's house. So, it was good. It was good fun.
What kind of food did you eat last night?
It was Lebanese barbecue, lots and lots of it. Feeling pretty heavy today, actually. It was a serious feast. And, we got multicultural around this weekend at the Giants. So, should be really good fun and a good one to come to as fans for sure. They do it bloody well.
How good was the package involved, mate? Doesn't he do that barbecue quite nicely as well?
No, he didn't do it this week. It was left to the professionals this week. It was there was about 100 people there, so it was a serious effort.
Oh, that's brilliant. Well, talking about a serious effort, it's a serious sponsorship plug right here because we've got a new sponsor for the podcast. A big shout out to Inglewood Coffee Roasters, Australia's #1 coffee. They've jumped on board and there's no better time to plug them because it's the end of financial year sale. 50% off all 1 kilo coffee, chocolate, chai and tea, and 20% off all brewing equipment on the Inglewood Coffee Roasters website. So if anyone out there loves their coffee, well, this is the best in town. Head to inglewoodcoffeeroasters.com.au for all the details, and you'll be able to save a lot of money when you buy your coffee. I've even got their cup here, and I've got a little prop. I don't know if you've seen this, Tobe. You've seen yourself on our AFL set before. I just put you in the coffee cup.
Oh, I've seen a couple of them, yeah. I don't know about them.
I don't know if that looks like you, but it looks good.
Not really.
Little kickback for you off that one, or what?
I don't think so, mate. Don't know about that one.
Let's start off icebreaker and then into the week. Righto, here we go. Little icebreaker for you. Now, you have to pick one. For the rest of your life, when you fly on an aeroplane, you're only allowed to have one. You can have an aisle seat or you can have a window seat. Which one would you prefer?
Aisle. I like to get up and move a lot, so definitely the aisle.
You're an aisle man. I like that. So you'll never ever have a view.
People.
Never ever have a view of a city that you haven't been to before. You're just going to sit in the aisle for leg room.
Yeah, I couldn't care, mate. I'll see the city when I enter it. I would rather get up and be able to walk whenever I want.
I love it. Let's talk about the 250th. How's the rig just to kick us off? How'd you pull up?
Good. Nah, fine. Yeah, all good. Feel good. So, yeah, it was good fun, good weekend. Game went reasonably well in the end, so it was a good result. And feel good.
Leading up to the game, how did you handle the emotion in the build-up to the game? And did you feel any additional pressure from a personal point of view, given the team's kind of topsy-turvy kind of form in the recent weeks?
Pressure to win, yeah. Like I didn't really feel pressure that I had to perform because it was a milestone game or anything like that. But I really want, I knew, especially after the week before, we were really average. So I knew, I wanted to put best foot forward, and we needed to put a good effort in and play the right way. So that was what I cared about, and we were able to do that for the most part. And then the best part about the week was probably just everyone reaching out that you've come along across the journey. In footy clubs you meet a lot of people along the way, and few of them were at the game, and family and friends that have followed me my whole career. That was the best bit about it.
Any surprise text messages? I know you would have got a lot, but was there one that stood out?
Cursor messaged me. That was big.
King Cursor.
In Cursor.
Now I'm no muso man. Is this your man? Hip hop?
Yeah, it's my man.
What'd he say?
No, he just got around me. He heard that I was talking about him on a podcast, probably this one. I think he come to a Giants game reasonably soon.
That's big for you. There you go. I thought maybe it might have been Jimmy Hurd, but it was King Cursor. Let's talk about the great man in the rooms. I know it was a pretty cool pick to see your idol growing up in the rooms, handing you 250th jumper. What was that like, mate? Because he said some brilliant words about you. He even said that you're one of his favourite players. Like, what do those words mean to you?
Yeah, well, I didn't know it was happening, so it was a great surprise. Him and then Lambo spoke before him. It was it was awesome, and obviously you and my hero growing up as kids, so someone I've always admired, and yeah, it was great to hear those words spoken about me from him, and I've formed a good relationship with him since meeting him, 4 or 5 years ago, and he's a good man, and it was an awesome way to sort of start the day.
It was, mate. It was awesome to see him in the rooms and plenty of others as well. Well, let's dive into the game versus the Blues. I want to start with, how much did you drive the decision to play on ball?
Not at all, really. King has asked me during the week. He said, "What do you reckon forward or mid?" I said, "Oh, whatever, mate. You work that out. I'll just play wherever." I wasn't necessarily on ball. I was in a lot of centre bounces, but then sort of mixing it up after that. Witters played a really important role in that. To be honest, I didn't have much input at all, but I knew I had to be capable in both areas.
Well, you were red hot early. You had a couple of shots on goal. I think your first quarter, you might have had a 1 or 2 and 11 disposals, but do you kind of think that you should, you're saying you played mainly 4, but more centre square bounces. Do you think that's something we'll see moving forward?
It's good to have in your kit bag, that's for sure, but Finn, Josh Kelly, Cogs, were all out. Binger as well, all guys that can roll through there. So probably had to more than usual, but it is something I want to keep doing and keep adding to my game. But every week will be different, I reckon, depending on who's playing, who we're playing against. And yeah, it's just sort of a week-to-week thing.
Well, mate, you certainly looked elite in there, and so did the team. Obviously, the package flies in there, but this is just a question for me on the outside. But if, every game's important, you can see how tight the competition is. Like at quarter time or half time, if you boys are struggling, surely you just throw yourself in there because it just works. It works better when you are there.
I wouldn't say it definitely works better when I am there. It's a good way to, you can influence the game more because you're around the ball a lot more. But as I said, it's just sort of a week to week thing and something I need to be good at, keep working on, and whatever the opposition throws, or depending on who we got playing, it'll look different.
Well, mate, it didn't look different. We know how good you are, but 28, 3 goals, 13 score involvements. Don't give me this humble shit, mate. You must have felt very good when you had that third shot on goal, right in the pocket when you were snapping it around. There's plenty of emotion on that one from not only you, but the blokes in the crowd as well. How good did it feel just to put on an absolute clinic?
Oh, well, I guess I gave that one a little bit because I knew if I kicked it, that was the game. So that was probably why I gave it a bit. So it was, you were up and about with it, mate. I saw a few boys were pretty pumped. So, it was good. I think that was probably 5 or so minutes to go after that, and we were up by 4 or 5 goals. So I knew, we should be home from there. And so it was good to kick it.
There was plenty of soccer goals, I noticed. A few boys kicking some pearlers off the deck. Is that a little bit of inspo from one of your guests that popped into the HQ during the week?
Yeah, Ryan Matter popped in. That was awesome to meet him, and he loved it. He really was super inquisitive, and speaking to him for a while about footy and how we do things and how our game's different to theirs. But no, for a guy who's done it all, he's one of the most humble blokes you ever meet, and maybe a little bit of inspiration did come from that.
That's brilliant. You guys still doing your soccer games, during the week?
Yeah, all the time, mate. All the time.
That's brilliant.
Sharpen up the footwork. It's good.
Well, it's working. I think even Big Brigger got on the other one.
He did. He was good.
He was very good, Brigger, and he needed to be, and especially against the money man. The next 4 weeks, you've got a great opportunity to kind of consolidate now with games against Richmond this week, which we'll talk about later, Port Adelaide before you tackle some top 4 challenges in Brisbane and Gold Coast. What's the dialogue internally? And, don't give me that one, we'll take it 1 week at a time. Is there something now that you're going to go, righto, boys, that's how we play. Fremantle's not how we play. Let's charge forward. We've got a great window here.
Defense, I reckon. Like our defense against Freo was horrific and led by myself and then the leaders. We acknowledged that we were really poor and probably hadn't been tracking great for a few weeks. So that was the big thing, and that'll be our big focus over the next few weeks and trying to nail that. Our defenders are so strong behind the ball, but we got to play team D and help them out. So that's the big thing for over the next few weeks. And usually if we're red hot with that, we're pretty tough to beat. So that's what we'll be working on.
That's a great answer. There you go. Team defense over the next 4 weeks, and the Ferrari just gets going. Mate, it's just it's tough work out there as a footy fan. I don't know how much footy you watched yourself, but tipping, it's becoming a nightmare. Who is the team to beat in your opinion right now?
Oh, Brisbane, I think. Like Collingwood, close to them, but Brisbane. I mean, they won it last year. They're bloody good at home. Experienced team. They won a lot. They're playing good footy. They haven't hit their best yet, and they're winning a lot. So I think it's pretty simple that, Collingwood are flying as well, but I'd still reckon Brisbane are the team to beat.
What about the Suns? You'd see a little bit of the Giants and the Suns. Young list, energy's high. They you can tell they've got it together now. How serious do you take them?
Oh, you definitely take them seriously. I mean, they keep winning, so they're a bloody good team. And again, they're going to be really good at home as well. So, I mean, they're going to be a big threat for top 4. So, footy's pretty tough. You're right, though, at the moment. There's not many easy games. And if you don't play close to your best, you don't really win. So, it's a super tight competition, exactly what the AFL would want. But it's hard work.
Mate, you would have seen the incident where there was a high ball and Darcy Byrne-Jones went back with a flight and Alex Pearce collected him on the way. I think you said on podcast earlier, if you hit the head, it's 3 weeks. Are you still standing with Alex Pearce will probably get 3 weeks for that one?
Well, I think he will, yeah, just based off the outcome. I had pretty much the exact same incident last year. I just didn't knock him out. You sort of brace your body at the last, tenth of a second, and you can't really help it. Like if you get there second to the ball and you hit them in the head and they get concussed, it's just the way the game's gone. But he's extremely unlucky, extremely stiff. But I think he'll get 3.
It blows my mind 3. I know we've spoken about this, but what I'm trying to work out. So let's start. Concussion's important, so we need to look after the head. So that's the first point. Second point is because it's a contact sport, right? And accidents happen, when it's not deliberate, like that incident, because there's kind of a duty of care to go back with the flight the right way, but we also understand that the game, that's just an incident that happens every blue moon. If Alex Pearce has got eyes on the footy and he doesn't mean to hit him in the head there, why is it 3 weeks and not a fine? Like say 10 grand fine. Like why does a player have to miss 3 weeks of footy to ramp down?
Well, I don't think he did have eyes on his footy the last half a second. That's why.
But if he had eyes on the footy then, so that last bit where he braced, if he didn't take his eyes off it, he's still probably gets 3 weeks, so doesn't he?
No, I don't think so. If he's looking at the ball the whole time, if he hits the ball first and then does it, he doesn't get anything. I had the exact same thing last year. Like, I was charged in from 20 metres away, running as quick as I can, flew for a ball at the last half a second, turned my body, realising that he's going to get there just before me, and I sort of bump him in the air, but like he was fine. But if I knocked him out, he would have got 3 or 4 weeks. Like, I don't necessarily agree with it, but that's what it is.
All right, well, one more footy news. You said you've got something for me regarding the umpires or a new rule. Can you talk to me?
No, I just think we're waiting too long for the ruckman to get to the contest, especially in forward 50s. Just ball it up. Like you get 1 second, 2 seconds. It's creating numbers around the footy, exactly what the AFL don't want, and you don't want as forwards. We're just waiting like 7 or 8 seconds for the ruckman to get there. It's just I don't think it's necessary. If they're not there, they're not there. Someone else takes it. If no one takes it, no one takes it. Just ball it up. Let the game flow.
That's a good one by you. And that's what they want, right? They want the game to be just up and down. They don't want it to be delayed. They don't want congestion. So why aren't they doing that, you reckon?
I don't know. Like it's like the ruckman need to be the ruckman. I understand that's their position, but if they're 30 metres away, they're not making it. Bad luck. Move on. Get to the next contest.
It's a good point. And how many of them on the weekend do you reckon there were?
Oh, 3 or 4, like waiting for both. One inside 50, I was like, hurry up, all this thing up.
It's a good point. And what happens to you? Like if you're a small forward, what pisses you off versus if they just throw it up? It's an obvious answer for me and you, but for people out there?
There's 8 people around the ball versus 16. Like if you wait an extra 5 seconds, there's another 8 people there. It's more congested, harder to win the ball. That's the only reason really, and exactly what the AFL don't want.
I like that. We'll have to clip that one up because I reckon we send that to see what people think. Because most teams, they're not playing with 2 rucks. So I don't know why they can't just throw it up. If the big boy's fatigued, just get it in there. The only thing, I'm playing devils here, but it's like we know how the umpire's always got to identify who it is. You just saying,
yeah, but just give 1 second. You got 1 second to identify it.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But if they're not there, they're not there. Or if they do identify it.
Just a question for me. If your ruckman's not there, do you guys have a tactic to say if he's not there, we know who's going to go in?
Nah. Like I took it. I took one on inside 50. I think I was with Cripper, but both ruckman was sprinting from ages away, like with the fast transition. So, it's just we just play it
like it
as it is.
Well, I love the start here. Plenty to talk about. But once again, before we move on, I just want to say congratulations on the 250th, mate. It was awesome to see you. Do you want to just talk about the celebrations? What happened afterwards for those that don't know?
No, just had family and friends rolled into Turek Hotel. Had a little area there booked, and it was perfect. Just really, pretty cruisy and playing the early game. Everyone was there by 5 or 6 and there for a few hours. And it was great. Great to see a lot of people that you probably only see once or twice during the season. So it was awesome fun. And
did you like the early start, early finish?
I loved it. Yeah, it was. I mean, I had no issues. It was good. And that doubleheader, I guess they'll try and do a fair bit more of at Marvel. Probably just from a revenue perspective. So I can understand it.
There you go. A little clip. Get the ball up if the ruckmen aren't there. And well done to the AFL for the doubleheader at Marvel. Early start, early finish. The boys are happy. Well, mate, it's time to turn to our AAMI clanger. That's right. When clangers happen, lucky you're with AAMI. If you want a chance at 100K, hit the www.afl.com/AAMI clangers for good. If you got a clanger, send it in. Now, Tobes, you told me last week that you've got a grouse one, and it's to do with one of the boys at the club, I believe. Can you talk to us about your AAMI clanger?
Yeah, this is big. I don't know if it's a clanger. It's something maybe more. It's not right in my books. So Tom Green, this came up on the flight down to Melbourne. We're on the bus, on the team bus, and it's a really big talking point. Tom Green reckons that sometimes when he's travelling, especially overseas, if he can't get to a laundromat or something, he'll chuck his undies in the kettle and boil the kettle to clean his underwear in the hotel room.
What?
Disgraceful. And he reckons it's a thing.
Hang on a second. So that's like how he does.
I drink cups of tea every night at the hotel, so I was disgusted.
That is absolutely putrid. So Tommy Green's chucking his undies in the kettle to give him a little hot wash.
Yeah, I couldn't believe what I was hearing, mate. It was not right.
What's going on there? And how'd you find this out?
It just came up, and he said if he's ever desperate, he'll do it. And he reckons it's a thing though. Like air hostesses sometimes do it, and I don't know. I haven't heard about it, but let's go to the listeners and just sort of get the report back.
That could be the biggest AAMI clanger of all time. Tommy Green. I love how you've named the greener. He is. I don't know if he'll be flattered or be proud of this one. He's going to have
no, he's not proud.
Tommy Green's chucking his undies in the kettle on away trips and you're drinking your green teas before bed. Oh, boy, this is an AAMI clanger if I've ever heard one. Has anyone else, when you bring it up around the table, you're probably having dinner or you're on the road, all the boys are sitting there. Is anyone else going, yeah, I've done that as well, or is he on his own?
I think a couple of boys had said they'd heard of people doing that, but no one had done it. But I was in shock because I drink more tea probably than anyone, and I was fuming.
Oh my God. Well, I tell you what, Tommy Green might be sharing 100K with everybody else because you can send this clip in to AAMI at www.afl.com.au/AAMI clangers for good because that might be the leader. That is as bad as I've seen. I've got the boys behind the desk here. They are shaking their heads in disgust. We're going to have to get Tommy Green back on the show next week because he's going to need to speak here because he's going to have to listen to this. Oh, my God. That is brilliant. That is brilliant. Far out. I can't believe that. Did anyone else have some funny comments? Well, I've got a little something special for you around the corner here, but was there any other comments from someone else in disgust?
No, a lot of people were on my side. It was just, it was interesting discussion for sure.
There you go. The AAMI clanger with Tobes. That is an absolute cracker. Now, mate, I've been pumping up Yeah, there's been a lot of people that have been writing in, but there's been a few guys that love your work more than anyone. And there's a man that I've got on the line, and I want to introduce it to him. Finally, we have Jevy here from 100K Podcast. This man is the king of content, and he doesn't hold back. So Toby, Jevy, Toby, welcome to the podcast, Jev.
Tobes, how are you, mate?
Good, mate. How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad to be on. I've been excited to meet you. I'm glad to be on. I've got a heap of questions for you.
Yeah,
Jevy,
this will be interesting.
Jevy, off the top, I don't know if you just heard that, but we've just had some breaking news out of the GWS camp that Tom Green chucks his undies in the kettle when he needs a hot wash the night before and boils them up. Have you heard that one before?
I haven't, but that is some good stuff. I'm excited for that. Did you touch on the weekend's game? Tobes is 250. We saw him all over social. I know you were loving that, Tobes.
Yeah, it was a busy week on social. It was a bit much for my liking, so keen just to sort of get back to normal routine now.
So you played in the first ever brunch game at Marvel. Did the midday start throw your routine at all? Like, was it your scrambled eggs at 4:30 in the morning? Could you get your newspaper in before the game?
No, I didn't mind it. I just woke up, had a swim, coffee, had breakfast and a coffee, and then pretty much just had a muffin on Chapel Street where we were staying, and then off to the game. It was great. Didn't really have to wait around at all.
You didn't have to overthink it, just straight into it.
Yeah, it was good.
Can you pinpoint the moment you knew you had the game won on the weekend and you had the 4 points on the road in the last quarter? Because I can. When they sent Adam Saad to you in the last quarter, you had 8 touches and kicked 2 goals, 1 in the fourth. Did you lick your lips?
No, Sardi's got me a few times, so I didn't. But when I kicked the snap was when I thought we'd won it, so that's why I gave it a bit.
Oh, geez, I gave it a bit too. so did Tommy and Jez.
Yeah, he did.
Now, the early start wouldn't have just crept up on you. You've got some gremlin mates who I reached out to a couple of them today who would have had their first beer at midday. So you were off the field in the rooms by 3 p.m. Were any of the boys in fine form at 3 o'clock?
Yeah, a couple were. Jake Trotter, he was in good areas. Ben Pugh, my cousin Tommy McDermott, he was certainly humming around. So yeah, there's a few.
Were you allowed to have a couple to celebrate?
I certainly did. I had a couple of zeros. I was pretty low key, mate. But the boys are up and about.
Love that. So there were some brilliant performances on the weekend. I'm hoping you can blind rank the best performances 1 to 4 for me. So I'm going to give them to you. You rank them 1 to 4, all right? So we had Jez kicking 6 on Thursday night.
2.
Yourself, 3 goals, 28 touches in your 250th.
3.
Cozzy on Sunday, I was there. It was unbelievable. He kicked 5-4, hit the post a couple of times, 24 touches.
He's at 1. That was as good as you can buy.
Oh, and then the last one, our man Tommy Sheridan, who inserted himself right next to Jez for a bit of me time on camera in the Toby Green 250 T-shirt. He was happy on the camera, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's 4. Yeah, but no, he was up and about. He's giving a little bit to Carlton supporters from what I heard, so it's good.
And a man of integrity, Jev, he told me to wear that T-shirt. I was actually stood up, so you can only just see it, but it was a great T-shirt. And for anyone that hasn't got one, make sure you get online at Clutch Time there and buy one because there's a couple left. Keep going, Jev. You're on fire here, mate.
What were you saying to the Blue supporters, Tommy?
I just told them to leave the arena before the traffic picks up. There's another game coming in. The TFG just said good night, even though it was 2 p.m.
I can see why you're an AFL captain and a leader. You can take the emotion out of the situation for the greater good of the team. What was it like having the face of the Oz American Aces and the face of Dylan Friends in your camp on the weekend? I just saw the photo and I could cut the tension with a knife, big fella.
No, there wasn't any tension in the room. It was all good atmosphere in there. There was a lot of boys in there. It was good actually. Everyone was up and about, and you don't get that too often in the rooms. There's usually 2 or 3 boys, so it was good.
Richmond this week, back on your home deck, 4:15. Everyone watches that game. The Giants had a shocker at home last time against Freo. Is it belt to ass this weekend? Is the vibe in the building that it's belt to ass this weekend?
No, it's not. But we need a win. That's what we're trying to do. We were horrific against Freo. You're right, mate. So we owe the Giants fans, and we got to get cracking and start playing some consistent good footy. So it'll be good.
You kicked 4 last year against the Tigers. Anyone you lick your lips against that plays for Richmond?
No, Richmond's all when we were good and they were good, that was always, that was some of your harder games, and their back line was pretty elite there for a few years with Dylan Grimes and Rance and Asprey and Broady and Nick Vaston. So, and Broady and Nick Vaston are still around. So I've had lots of battles with Broady over the years. So I imagine it'll be something similar.
Nothing more for me, Tommy. Oh, you got an anytime try scorer for me in State of Origin tomorrow night?
Anytime. I think Cleary will score one, yeah.
He'll score maybe the first?
Yeah. But I'm not man of the match, Mitch Moses, for me. I reckon he'll just sort of run the system there at the 6. He'll be good.
I love that.
Very good, Jevy. Love your energy. We'll get this going more often. Now, we're not going to shy away from the fact that you told Toby that you're his number one fan, but you prefer to watch the Swannies. You're a Swans man as well. So let's not hide behind the facts, big fella. Why don't you look him in the eyes and tell him that you're still a Swannies fan?
I can still be a Swan supporter and a Toby Green fan.
It's hard, though.
You and Isaac Heaney going into business was massive for me. That was huge.
Yeah, Jeff, while I've got you, because we've got Tobes as well, if you think of one as well, and Tobes will kick it off, but it's time for our Inglewood coffee roast. That is right. So when it comes to coffee, Inglewood Coffee Roast is Australia's number one coffee. Well, it's time to roast someone, and Toby's going to kick it off, Jeff. And if you want to roast someone, you can go second. If you don't, then you can just exit the screen, and we'll see you next week. But stay online. Toby, kick us off with an Inglewood Coffee Roast. Who do you want to roast this week?
The F1 organisation need to scrap Monaco. It's a disgrace. It's like watching the Melbourne Cup with one lane. Like, no horse can take over. So whoever's got the best weight wins. It's the stupidest thing I've ever watched. It's just pointless. Understand history and it's a great city, but move on or make the track wider.
That is very, very good to kick off the Inglewood Coffee Roast. Jeffy, thoughts on those comments?
No, I love it. It's too tight, the track. No one can overtake anyone.
It's a Gay Waterhouse job. Just get them out front and just let it lead. You actually can't. It all comes down to the time. It's talk about a bit of a head wobble. There's a lot of head wobble going on. Have you seen the traffic with the boats in the water? It's more about the boats than the race. It's like who's got more cash.
I think that's why they will never get rid of it. It's a real historic sort of track, and the who's who of the world rolls in. But it's one of the most boring sporting spectacles you'll ever watch.
Yep, I tend to agree that it is boring once they've got their positions. It's hard to overtake. Jeff, you've got any roasts, or is that you? Are you done, mate?
I want to roast the North Melbourne midfielders, boys. They've kept Dacos to 10 touches at half time. They're up by 9 points. He has 28 second half touches and they lose by 45. Surely you just stick to the task and get the job done, boys. It takes a team. They don't just have a Toby Bedford. It takes all three of them, and they couldn't get it done. It gave me the shits on the weekends, boys.
Yeah, it's a fair call. I think we were at the pub actually with Tobes watching that game, and I reckon the scores were level at 3/4 time, and you have another beer and you look at the screen and it was 40 plus. So, certainly, I think you're spot on there, Jevy. I reckon that's a fair comment. We'll have to give our man Mickey Barlow a call. He's an assistant coach down there, I believe, and see what's going on with the mids, because 3/4 just won't stack it up. But 3/4 was good though. I must say I was pretty impressed with 3/4 time. But yeah, that's fair enough. We'll find out why they didn't go with him in the last quarter, because that's a fair call. Jev, I just want to say, love your energy. I told you not to talk about last week because we covered off the top. So if I gave you a quick review, I give you a 7. Energy's high. We love your work. We love your energy. And we're going to have you back as many times as we can. So thank you so much for jumping on and giving the TFG a few random ones, mate. We love it.
Oh, I appreciate it, boys. I've got heaps coming the next couple of weeks. I've got a few questions for you, Tobes, that I've saved tonight.
Save them, mate. Save.
Did you save a cracker?
No, they'll come. They'll come.
Okay. Well, he's just warming up. All right, Jevy. Well, good work. And if you haven't checked out the 100K podcast, check it out. There's signs behind the great man. They do some amazing work and very funny lads. So, mate, we'll see you next week. Keep up the good work.
Good on you, boys.
Oh, there you go, Tobes. Just I don't know if I told you it was going to be a big guest. It's going to be Jevy from 100K. Who are you expecting me to call when I told you we've got a special guest on the line?
No, I had no idea. I was thinking maybe along the lines of a Marcus Callett or a Roddy or something like that.
Well, Roddy wasn't happy, mate. I think he's a big Carlton fan. He was the only bloke in our row that was sitting there almost in tears when you put that one through. It was pretty nice, that last goal, because you kicked it literally at us. It was a bit of a fairy tale finish for all of us that were sitting in the stands. Mate, I want to continue. Well done. You've been on fire. But let's talk about this week. We just heard from Jevy about you kicking 4 last time. Obviously, you're running up against some old teammates. You're looking forward to running out. Obviously, they've been there for a while now. But Timmy Tarano and Hops, looking forward to that one?
Yeah, so a few of the boys are still close, really close with those boys, and they're a little bit younger than me. But yeah, Richmond have been going good. They're a good little young side. Obviously going to have some ups and downs with the age demographic of their team, but they're a bit like us in our first and second year. They have a crack, and we need to play well.
Well, as Jevy said, the state of origin, you're a New South Wales man. You've changed. I reckon you used to be Queensland as a Victorian, but now that you live up there, you got the Blues jersey, and you'll be wearing that later on when we do a potty. It's important to note that if you are going to have a little head-to-head bet on game 1 and your team is up at halftime, well, you win. That's right. If you go into the break ahead, you'll be getting paid out as an early winner if you bet with our friends at PointsBet. So check your account for personalised max stake limits. PointsBet, built different. We love the origin, and I think the whole nation just stops for this game. Game 1 doesn't get any bigger because we know there's only 3, and if you can win the first, you generally go on. Have you got anything that you like on that game? I'm an anytime try scorer man. Do you like this to be high scoring, or do you think it'll be low scoring?
Oh, I don't think it's ever high scoring, the first one. First 10 minutes is always... Oh, it's brutal. It's insane. And I feel my head ringing just watching it. It's not right. So I'm looking for it. It's always great. And there hasn't been a huge build up in Sydney, to be honest. Maybe I'll just sort of have missed a little bit, but because it's in Queensland, the first one, and sure it'll be going off up there. But if New South Wales win that's the series over, I reckon. So. It'd be good to see it. Oh yeah, Mitch Moses for man of the match for me. That's my tip.
I like that. That's a nice bold call early, and win the first, win the whole series as well. Who's the diehards? We've got a couple of boys that are just homegrown talent. Who's number one diehard New South Wales Blues man?
Josh Fahey, I think. He loves his rugby league. So, but we got 6 or 7, or more New South Wales boys. So. Got a good contingent and a couple of Queenslanders, so it'll be good.
He's all getting together to watch it anywhere. You're going to hit up our man Balsy at the pub?
There might be a few boys. I'll be pretty cruisy at home, but that's another thing. Actually, they say it starts at 8:05, whatever it does. I guarantee it doesn't start till about 8:28. For some reason, they just can't get it on time. The Origin.
That's a good one. There you go. I should get a little TFG lineup what time it starts. Well, like I said, just a reminder to people, I can hear the gorgeous girl. She needs to be fed. I've gone overtime, but as we know, here she is. She would have had a great day in Melbourne watching her father just dominate against the Blues. Hello. She wants some dinner, I reckon. Well, as I said to you before, let's see if the Campbell Brown fact stands up. No scoring inside 5 minutes. Tobes, it's a big week ahead again. See if you can get 2 on the trot. Well done on an amazing win, and it was awesome to see you and the fam. And to everyone that listens to this podcast, we appreciate it. We appreciate Amy, Inglewood, KPI Construction, everyone that's a sponsor of the show. And we want to hear you in the conversation. We're going to get more people on like we had. That was the first for our technology here, getting Jevy inserted into the show. We'll get more guests, but I think the major point out of this podcast is Tom Green has been putting his undies in the kettle to give him a hot wash on the road, and we need to get him on next week to justify what is going on, Tobes. So I'll leave it at that. Thanks so much, mate. All the best this week. Another great episode of TFG Tuesdays. And if anyone out there's listening and hasn't hit subscribe, and we'll see you same time next week right here on American Aces. See you, Tobes.
Appreciate it, mate. Yeah, he'll be absolutely filthy, so I'm keen to hear his insight.
Oh, he'll be filthy with that. See you guys. See you next week.
Come on, ref. is offside.
It's the biggest rivalry in Australian sport, State of Origin. And at PointsBet, if you place a head-to-head bet on Game 1 and your team is up at half-time, you win. That's right, back the shield-holding New South Wales Blues or the Maroons, and if they go into the break ahead, get paid out early as a winner. Check your account for personalised max stake limits. PointsBet, built different. What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
This episode is brought to you by AAMI. When clangers happen, lucky you're with AAMI.